in my mind, I see this inner tension between and as you said earlier, do I say goodbye to my kids or do I not? There's that internal grappling because you're not just responsible for yourself. You now also have other people who depend on you. Moments like this is what I'd like to discuss on this podcast because people think living a purpose driven life is obvious, is easy, but often it's not because it's in the micro moments where you grapple with things, that's where you lean into your purpose. So
Right.
tell us a little bit more choosing your passion, your dharma, your career, your synchronicity, this thing that drives you to keep pushing the envelope in spite of your fear, in spite of your responsibility and all these other things, to your attachment to other things that's in your life.
So I think we have as much responsibility to our passion as we do other people. And that is, you've got to walk a balance there, I guess, right? Should I not ride my bike to work because it's more dangerous than driving my car to work in the city? Because I enjoy bike riding. I know a lot of people who they get married and their spouse convinces them to sell the motorcycle because they're not a bachelor anymore. You've got responsibilities. Is
Mm-hmm.
that the right thing?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but if it's your career choice, it's not just some sort of extracurricular thrill that you're seeking. This is what gives you purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got to follow that. That's important. And it may be what kills you, but something's going to kill you. It might as well be something you're passionate about.
Mm. That's
You
a
know?
quotable quote. I like it.
Thanks. Right? I mean, it's kind of like risking failure when you're doing something as an entrepreneur or just designing something. You know, I worked at a place that strongly, where we did all these prototypes. It was strongly encouraged to, you know, hurry up and fuck it up so you can fix it, was the saying. In other words, you were encouraged to, failing was not failing. It was fail up, or whatever you want to say. The cliche is you definitely get points for trying, and succeeding comes from trying over and over again and not being dissuaded from the setbacks. So I mean, you got to be smart about it. Obviously, you can keep trying something stupidly and expecting a different result, but there's definitely a method to, you know, it's like Edison trying all the different kinds of materials for filaments, right? For light bulbs. He tried hundreds and hundreds. He just kind of brute forced it, shotgun approach to development. And one of the interesting things in my early career at Scale Composites was our quality control was that the guy that was the project engineer, which would be kind of like the chief engineer on a project, it was usually most of the engineers were pilots. It's just kind of our culture. And usually that person, that project engineer that led the program and the design, was either the test pilot or the co-pilot on the first flight. So talk about quality control. You're making life or death decisions about doing a trade between strength and weight and minimizing material to make the performance good. And you're also saying, well, if the wing breaks in the first flight because of turbulence, it's going to kill me. So it's like, that's the insurance, right? And
You're
it's
putting your
simple. It's
life
like,
at stake, your own life at stake.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But
Mm-hmm.
so you don't want to die,
Mm-hmm.
but you also don't want to build a shitty product that's too heavy, that doesn't have any payload capacity, right? That doesn't meet the performance specs. So you're challenged in every way, both personally, physically, as well as mentally to achieve that goal. And that's
Mm-hmm.
about putting skin in the game. And even though I wasn't an owner in the company, I always felt like I had skin in the game in my projects quite often.
Mm.
That either I was going to fly on that thing on the first flight or someone I knew. And so it's a lot what motivates entrepreneurs is that there's a reward, there's a risk and a reward.